So I have been searching for home my whole life. It turns out that my parents immigrated from Egypt about 35 years ago and were looking for a better life. They spent most of their time focused on education, and because they did so, me and my brothers transferred schools about every year looking for the next best school. By the time I had finished, I had gone to 6 elementary schools, 2 middle schools, and 3 high schools. When I finally graduated, my parents were like off to the state university, which I did. At the state university, I moved every year because I couldn't find the right dorm to stay in. After I did that, I went on to medical school, and my parents started to ask the question, when are you going to get married? I sat there and I asked my parents, well, I'm not exactly sure because I've been so busy moving, I haven't had the chance to meet the right girl. Finally, an opportunity came where at a party, I basically thought to myself, well, this girl will do. I ended up in a relationship with her, and it was fairly successful. She was everything that I could possibly want. She was smart, she was cute, she was very good with her family, and I thought to myself, how perfect. My mom asked me about her and asked the first question was, is she Muslim? I said, I don't think so. My mom responded, well, is she willing to convert? And I said, I don't think so. My mom said, well, she seems like a reasonable girl. What is your plan when you finish medical school? So off to residency, I said I would go. I ended up traveling to Case Western Reserve, and she and I had a discussion if she would go with. She decided she would go with. The two of us moved to Cleveland, and we started our lives together. There we sort of built a house. We found a 2-bedroom, we got a dog, we got furniture, we got a dining room table for 10. We built a beautiful life together, but something didn't feel right. Something was uncomfortable. The more time we spent with each other, the more we sort of ended up in a routine. I would come home, she would be watching TV, we would talk about Wheel of Fortune, we would play with the dog, she would study, I would work, we'd go to bed. The relationship didn't have much passion or love in it, and I couldn't figure out why. The more time we spent with each other, the more we realized that we were living a life of convenience. Till one day she sat me down while watching Wheel of Fortune, in between guessing whether or not she was going to get a vowel or guess the T, and she said, "Are you happy?" And I looked at her and I said, "Not at all." She said, "Well, then I think that this is probably not working and that you and I should part ways." I said, "That sounds reasonable." So I started packing up my stuff. She said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm moving." She said, "I don't think you have to move immediately because it's going to take me some time to find a new roommate." I said, "Okay, I guess I'll wait." But in the whole time I was there, I packed up everything I owned. Then one day, because I didn't know how to tell her I was going to leave, I waited till she went away on Thanksgiving with the dog. I took all my stuff and I moved out. When she came home, she called me and said we had been robbed. I said, "We weren't robbed, I just moved out." It's funny how only my stuff was gone. She said, "I can't believe you've done this." And I told her I didn't know how to tell you, that I just didn't feel like I was at home. For the next few years, I went back and forth. I moved from place to place. I dated different types of people. My mom constantly asking, "When are you going to settle down? When are you going to be at home?" I didn't have the answer to that, so I did the best thing I could. I moved, because that's what I did. To Atlanta I went, where I spent my time in Atlanta trying to figure out who I was. When I finally got to Atlanta, what I realized is that I wasn't the person I thought I was. It took me some time to meet somebody where I finally realized that the problem has been is that I've never felt comfortable with myself because I've never actually accepted that I was gay. When I finally came out as being gay, it was not a pleasant experience for my parents. Because what ended up happening is, to them, home is actually a person. Home is about having a family, it's about having a house, it's about having furniture and a dog. The problem is that the life they had envisioned and the life I wanted to live were not going to be the same. So when I came out to my parents and finally came out to myself, it got to the point where finally we had to stop talking, because there was nothing left to be said without hurting each other. But what I came to realize is that home actually isn't a person outside of you. In order to be at home, you must be comfortable with who you are. You got to accept the fact that there are going to be parts of yourself that you just don't want to be true, but they are. And you have to embrace them and accept them so that you can finally come to a place where you're at peace. After I came out, I met this beautiful man, and I'm having a beautiful life. And what's good about it is that home isn't him. Home is me.